Best, Jake. That's Manchester United. They shouldn't sign anyone, player, coach, anybody on the staff, unless it's to be the best. And the point is, they should save that money and spend it on people that are going to make the difference. Liverpool did that. Had a great team, had an unbelievable front three, and went and signed Alisson and Van Dijk. That's how you do it.
And they waited. They were patient. But
I think that's what United needs to do.
Tonight, we go back to tonight in the game, and I think that it was a difficult assignment, this, I think, going to Villarreal. And we were speaking before, and this could have been a banana skin for many of big teams, let alone a team lacking confidence like we were today. But Fred, who played a part in both goals, was fantastic in this, in shutting down and closing down the man on the ball. Ludicrous pass from the keeper, risky, but then it's all about Cristiano, isn't it?
But that's probably been the blueprint this season, is De Gea makes some brilliant saves and Cristiano gets a crucial goal at crucial moments. This game could have gone either way. We said at half-time it's there to be won. And Ronnie wins you games, that's for sure. And the thing is, it was actually nice to see them press as a group. You see Bruno was coordinating, Fred was, Cristiano was. And if Ronnie gets the ball in those areas, we know he's going to win you the game. But United's biggest issue this season, and that's why Michael Carrick played the way he did today, was because they conceded too many goals. You know, after 12 games, they've conceded 21 and only scored 20. So Carrick tightened up the defence, and then you get one up, and then you can play on the break. This is what United are great at. Positive forward pass read. That's what Sir Alex always wanted, didn't he?
I think going back to that pass there, that people, you can't underestimate how important this pass is for McTominay, because in the first half, when this ball comes to him,
everything was sideways, wasn't it?
This pass here was going to here, or it was going across there or backwards. Where the moment he thinks about that ball and then gets it through there, the whole dynamic of this move changes.
Sir Alex used to say, if you win the ball there,
play forward.
First pass forward if you can, and it just shows you what it opens up. But the beautiful thing I like about this is Jadon's effort. Jadon's effort to get up and join. Bruno came off the bench and had a big impact on the game in terms of his quality in these areas. But I love the fact that Bruno, that's a smart touch, and Jadon's getting into an area. That was the Jadon Sancho we saw at Dortmund. That's why they paid that money to make the difference. And I thought it was great to see Jadon play in that position, get a bit of confidence going into the game against Chelsea on the weekend.
I think Michael said as well in his press conference after, Michael Carrick, he said that the substitutes had a big impact. Two best chances in the game for Man United were set up by Bruno when he came on, so it was good.
And here's a nice one from Jadon Sancho. Proud to score my first goal for Manchester United in the best competition in world football. Great team effort from the boys tonight. We build from this. What do you think Manchester United can do this season?
I think from where they are now, I think they've just got to aim to finish in the top four. Get in the Champions League. I think that's a realistic target and achievable target if the ship steadies, and try and get themselves involved in a cup competition. If they can do that and go and win a cup, I think it'll be something where they can go, actually, we salvage something this season.
It's amazing to think, after finishing second and signing the players they had, genuinely 3 world-class players, that after 12 games we're saying finish in the top 4. But that's how good Liverpool, Chelsea and City are. You have to respect that. But I think United don't want to let this get away from them. 4th is bare minimum. And then obviously you've got to find a way to try and win something. Build a bit of confidence and finish the season really strong. But I think the most important thing is getting that manager that Chelsea have, that City have, that Liverpool have. That guy will be the most important person at Manchester United Football Club. They have some amazing players, some of the best fans in the world. But that guy who takes that job is going to be the one who's going to take United to where they want to be.
Just think back to that game at Old Trafford when they got Villarreal on the pitch and you were chatting to him and the crowd were loud. It felt like the start of something special.
It was nothing different, was it? It was nothing special. It was just people playing in the positions and playing the position correctly. Then they can bounce off, because we know they've got the quality to do that. And look, I keep saying it, but I thought Sancho was the best player for us, and really pleased for him. Oh, now he really kicks on from here, and I think he'd almost be. He's a player who wants to play in a possession team as well. He's not really going to get that a lot, I don't think, especially in the big games. When you talk about Chelsea on Sunday, I don't think he'll get that a lot. He's going to have to probably adjust his game a bit to be more of a counter-attacking player.
Are you surprised that Oli played Jadon off the left so much when we signed him for the right, and you had Marcus there, you had Martial there, Pogba was playing there? Why he didn't start on the right once, I don't think. In the last 2 games, he looks much better on the right.
Well, he looks the player that we signed for, what, 70 million quid? He played on the right-hand side a lot for Borussia Dortmund. That's where he's most comfortable. You've seen that. Some players on the left-hand side like cutting inside and smashing it. He's not that type of player. He's more of a footballer. He's got great skills to go past people, but he's not the quickest.
So, Michael's at the wheel.
Yeah, he is. He's there. He's there at the moment. But we'll just leave it. We'll leave it there. Yeah, we won't go all the way in. Now, listen, I think I'm pleased for him. We've all played with him. We know what a nice guy is, a great teammate. And this is a difficult situation. This was a hard game to navigate, away in Europe, always difficult. Under the current circumstances, I think he's done a really good job today. Like he said, made his team hard to play against at times. Yeah, David had to make a couple of saves, but I thought they grew into the game after a nervous start, which is understandable given their form. And I thought they played quite a mature performance in the second half, and then punished when they got the opportunities.
Manchester United don't seem like a club with a plan in place at the moment in terms of what comes next after Ollie. So if he goes and beats Chelsea and goes on a run of 3 or 4 really good games, could you conceive him being given the job?
Permanently?
In an interim to the end of the season, as we saw with Ollie, probably? No?
I don't think so, but who knows? Look,
they're a hard club to work out, aren't they?
We've just been looking at the fixtures. After Chelsea, there's a run of about 10 games that are very winnable.
So why would you not keep him in position while you do find the person that maybe you want?
Well, that's what they'll be doing. And this just buys you a bit of time. You know, this result, this performance, you know, no goals conceded, no mistakes, takes a bit of pressure off. So now that can quiet down a bit. Obviously, it could all change with Chelsea on the weekend. But if Michael goes and gets a result against Chelsea, I think it just, you know...
Could you see him getting the job to the end of the season or beyond?
I think United will be looking to see how the team reacts and how they play. Today's a good step. Look, if he's winning, like Ole, nobody really anticipated Ole going to get the job full time. But because the results and the performances were there, they did it, you know, whether it was the right thing to do or not. But they did that. And if Mike keeps winning games and keeping clean sheets and climbs them up the table, then they'll look at that. They have to.
This is Man United.
I think one thing's certain.
You've got to have the very best in charge. Michael Carrick, look, he's a coach. He's had 1 game in charge. As a manager of Manchester United, no experience anywhere else. He can't. Honestly, he can't. As much as I like the lad, they cannot appoint. They need the very best. Whether it's the very best who's available as an interim or the very best who's available full-time.
I don't think they'll give it to Michael for the end of the season. I think that one thing certain in my mind is that they're actively looking for somebody to come in to be the interim manager in this stage to take us through to the end of the season. And I genuinely believe that they'll be looking to get someone else to come in and take over the reins come the summer.
Who's that then, Rio?
Don't know who it is, but there's loads of names.
Who would you like it to be? I mean, there's a load of names there. Brendan Rodgers, Mauricio Pochettino, Zinedine Zidane, Ralph Rangnick. Who
are these? Like? Are these interim candidates or are these full-time?
These are full-time. I don't know. When you're looking at Laurent Blanc, you wouldn't imagine he'd been one you're looking at to be full-time at the moment. I think, listen, there's some good talented managers there. I think someone like Pochettino, I think when he was out of a job, it seemed like there was murmurings coming out that he wanted to come to Man United in that period. And listen, I think depending on how PSG owners see it, we'll have to wait and see. But Man United have got to be making inquiries. If they want a particular manager who's in a job, those conversations I'm sure will be going on now to find out, are they willing to leave now?
But they mess around with an interim manager again. Why don't they? You say they're Man United. Go and get the best manager out there.
Scholes is right. That's what they should do. But you know, they haven't really done that in the past. It needs someone to come in like Tuchel and have that impact. Clear style of play, philosophy, identity, all that. And I think the biggest thing is work. You know, you look at City, Chelsea, Liverpool. They all work so hard. You know, in and out of possession. United haven't done that this year. So whoever's going to come in, whether it's Luis Enrique or Ten Hag or Zidane or Poch, that guy needs to come in and make this group of players work incredibly hard, and then the ball players, the flair players, can win the game. But I think there's good options out there, whether it's, you know, the names we just mentioned.
We shouldn't be sat here discussing this, really. After that Liverpool game, it was clear Ollie was on borrowed time. Yeah. That manager and his staff should have been ready for Monday morning. Full stop.
I think it's clear that the Man United have spoken to the candidate they want long term and know that he's not going to be available at this moment in time. That's why they've come out and said Michael's going to take charge now and we're looking for an interim until the summer. The only way they say that and they make that public is, I feel, if they've spoken to the long-term candidate who isn't available.
Who do you think that is?
I don't know. I think we're all sitting here playing the guessing game. We've got no idea.
Pochettino looks the most likely. With all the noises we're hearing, it's going to be Pochettino.
And he's come out and said this evening that he's happy in Paris.
They're going to say that.
But of course he's going to say that.
They're going to say, have you ever heard a manager tell the truth at a press conference? It just doesn't happen, does it?
Let's talk then about the hierarchy at Manchester United. The very fact that we're sitting here saying, will it be interim, will it not? Will they give it to Michael, will they not? Who can come in? Why didn't they do it after Liverpool? You know, you go and see other football clubs. I mean, it's at a different level. But Aston Villa, they remove the manager. They know who they want. They go and get him. Manchester United, do they need more football experience rather than financial experience at the absolute top of this football club?
I'd say so. I think that's a definite point you can make, and you can build a case around that. But it's just a lack of decisiveness. Like you mentioned your club, Norwich. You mentioned Aston Villa. They were decisive in that situation. They made a decision and went, bang, this is what we're going to do.
When Norwich sacked their manager, Dean Smith wasn't even available. He becomes available, you go and get him.
And that takes you back to the point, I know Conte's at Spurs now, but Conte was available. At the moment that Man United made the decision, or there was a time to make a decision back at Liverpool game, Man City game, they could have made that decision. And so you think, someone with that experience, he's won 5 leagues in 7 years. Yeah, I hope it is. It doesn't turn out to be that's one that got away. I hope not.
I can half see why they wouldn't employ Conte. As you say, I think I probably would. Looking at his record, 5 leagues,
what's available?
whatever it is, what's available out there, of course. It just feels like a short-term thing with him.
The point.
And I think Manchester United, they always want the long-term. I think they always prepare for long-term. And I think Pochettino's more suited to that. OK, I don't think he's proven himself to be an elite manager to live with Guardiola and Klopp and Tuchel at the minute. But what he did at Tottenham was brilliant. It's a really big achievement. Just to get them to a Champions League final is sensational.
What gets you to become long-term? What enables you to have long-term time at a club? Success. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? But what gives you
success? Structure.
But you've got to have someone who's come in who actually says, I've done this. I've done this repeatedly.
Yeah, but that's the point, Rio, because Chelsea's biggest signing in the last years has been Tuchel. Liverpool's biggest signing has been Klopp. Forget any players, and City's has been Pep. United need to go get somebody that's a much bigger signing than any of the players that they currently have. That needs to be somebody that is, everybody goes, yep. Now we're on the right track, because you look at, they shouldn't be turning over managers all the time. They just shouldn't. They should go and get somebody that's going to go, this is our guy for 5 years, and he's going to stay. Like Klopp will stay, like Pep will stay, because you're not going to get a better project than this with all the money and all the fans.
Yeah, but when you get that manager in, you've got to see a progression, and you've got to see someone who you think, oh, actually, they're going to get us over that next hump. They've solidified what we've got. They've given us hope. They've brought the spirit back into the club. And when are you going to go and win then? That's the difference. You saw that with someone like Klopp. He was getting close. He brought the club so far forward. You could see the fundamentals in the club, the patterns of play in the team. There was an identity at the football club. That wasn't seen here, the identity. That was the stuff we were saying was lacking. You need all those things to marry up together to go, oh, I see that as a long-term project. When you talk about someone like Conte, whether he's a long-term project or not, all those fundamentals we just spoke about there, and the DNA of a team, the philosophy, the identity, the work ethic of a team, he brings that day one.
I don't think this United team's far off.
Man United need a long-term manager because they need someone to build, because they've got 2 big problems, Man United, Liverpool and City. You're telling me Conte could come into this squad now and get them anywhere near to Manchester City and Liverpool? I don't see it. So that's why I think it's going to take a couple of years even, again, which is not something we want to talk about, to get the squad right, to get his way of playing right, to compete with them 2 clubs.
I think the proof's in what he's been doing, what he's done in recent years with the clubs he's been at. He was someone I thought would get you closer than most.
I don't think they're a million miles away. I don't.
He don't accept fools. He don't accept half-hearted. He don't have it. You need someone like that. You need a bully sometimes. You need someone to bully and create fear within that changing room. I don't see fear in there right now.
OK, yeah, we're going to move on from that one. Cheers for that. You've thrown me even with that, actually. Let's move on to #PRFans. We'd love you to be in touch, please. After seeing those results, who do you now think is going to win the Champions League? That is what we would like to know from you. Also, let's throw into the mix that we've been talking about Manchester United, who is going to be their next manager. Today, we're asking you who's going to be their next manager, but we just want the wrong answers only.
Pep Guardiola.
Yeah. I'm going to say Mickey Mouse.
Klopp.
Mickey Mouse?
Mickey Mouse.
Yeah,
Wow.
I'll take that. Anything. #PRFans on social media. Let's get in touch with those, please.
Yeah, absolutely. Right, let's cross to Simon Crabtree then at Old Trafford to react to that result last night for Manchester United. Michael Carrick's first game in caretaker charge as well. Sorry, Simon, what?
More at Tottenham.
Yeah? The old ones, innit, mate? You know the drill.
Do you want me to start talking now? You're about to say...
I forgot what I was going to ask you, yeah.
You asked me about
Ronaldo.
United. Ronaldo getting them effectively out of jail, maybe sort of in the first half. Not magical for Manchester United. In the second half, they got stronger, they got better, and they did exactly what they had to do. 12 minutes from time, a defensive error from the home team, and Ronaldo was there to pounce on it. He's the first player for an English team in either the European Cup or the Champions League history, if we get rid of the qualifying games, to score in each of the first 5 games in the competition. He's incredible, isn't he? That is now 799 career goals for club and for country. So the next one is a massive landmark for him, and Manchester United's first Champions League away win since that memorable night in Paris. Jadon Sancho getting the second goal for Manchester United, his first in a shirt of Man United colours. And of course, the first match of Michael Carrick. He became the first English manager of Manchester United for almost 100 years to win his first match in charge, albeit in a caretaker basis. But typical Michael Carrick, when he was asked about that post-match, insisted it's not about him, it's all about the team.
I'll be honest with you, it's not an important result for me personally. It's an important result for the club. It's an important result for the players. Tonight's not about me by any stretch. It's been obviously an emotional few days, and the first person I spoke to when it kind of all happened was, and Ed asked me to do this role, was Ollie, to almost see what he thought about it, because I felt that was the right thing to do. So I had a responsibility. I have a responsibility to be here, to managing the team, and I take great pride in that. So yeah, it wasn't about me tonight though. It was about getting through. It was a massive game. So when you get to this stage in a group of a Champions League, and it can swing so easy both ways. So it was vital that we came here and got the right result, and we managed to do that, so I'm delighted.
Yeah, Carrick playing it down there, not about him, all about the result. Look, you touched on Jadon Sancho already, Simon, but let's just talk about him a little bit more. A £73 million man. We haven't seen too much of him so far this season, but he started last night, played well and scored a goal.
Well, you say that. That's actually his 15th appearance for Manchester United. He's had 11 shots in that time, but that is the first one that has brought a ball. There will have been a certain amount of relief, I'm sure, with him, but it was quite the same for many players. It was almost like maybe they were playing with a little bit of freedom. It was interesting when we heard the news before the game. 4 changes Michael Carrick had made from the Watford defeat, and the big one really, I suppose, was that Bruno Fernandes was dropped. Now, that's the starting 11, and as the game went on, the most often position for all of those players, really, Sancho pushing up a little bit forward. Fred, I've got to say, alongside McTominay, we've seen that a lot, and it's been the bugbear for quite a lot of Manchester United supporters and even former players that I've spoken to, that he hasn't been great. He did what he is very good at doing, and that is breaking up the play and giving it to, well, in the words of Robbie Savage, giving it to the better players in there. He did that well last night. Ronaldo, of course, always leads by example, and a clean sheet as well. I think that's only the third in 25 games, something like the first in 14 or 13 matches for Manchester United. That was Carrick's first point of charge, to get that clean sheet. He got that, but let's put things into perspective a little bit, because Villarreal, what are they, 12th in La Liga, not flying by any stretch of the imagination. Beforehand, it would have been seen as probably one that they should have won, but to get that was important. Into the round of 16 now, so that last game is a dead rubber, but they'll want to try and keep that momentum going. But the next game, you would argue, is the bigger game.
Yeah, it's a huge match against Chelsea, isn't it, certainly at the weekend. I mean, in terms of the situation around Manchester United, Paul Scholes on English television last night was saying that he thought all the coaches should have gone along with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. I don't know if that was even possible, considering how close the games were together. How did Carrick do? Because, you know, it's sort of not really being talked about that much in terms of who's going to take over at Manchester United next. Scholes thinks he shouldn't even still be there. It was a good result, though, wasn't it? It was impressive from him.
Yeah, of course it was. Look, he did what he had to do. If the brief was win the game, get a clean sheet, try and lift the players, try and lift the fans, try and lift the club, then he ticked all those boxes. You can only beat what's in front of you. They were organised. His substitutions were good, weren't they? They did play better for him as well. They seemed to know more what they were doing. Is he the man at the top of the list still? Well, it seems to be a big list. We're hearing more and more of those names. Valverde, who you remember was, latterly the coach at Barcelona. He left in January of last year. Something going in his way is that he's not currently connected to a club. He can speak English as well. But another name that's come in the pot this morning, Rudy Garcia, who you remember lifted Lyon to great heights, lit up the French division when he was in charge there. Outthought Pep. Remember when Pep had to change the team to suit Lyon, got knocked out? He's a name that's in the hat now. Pochettino, I know you'll speak about him a little bit later, but a bit of water on there. But plenty of names in the hat. But it all signs point to Michael Carrick being in charge this weekend when they have to go to Chelsea. And the gap is already 12 points. They won't want it to be 15 come the end of the weekend.
No, massive match that certainly, isn't it? Simon, thank you very much for joining us at Old Trafford.